Good morning, everyone. So, in the last session, we discussed about form binding in the Spring Web MVC. So, do you understand how to work with form binding in the Spring Web MVC? Guys,
Yes,
do you
sir.
understand how to work with form binding in the Spring Web MVC? So, what is the meaning of form binding? Object data can be populated to the form, and form data can be populated to the object by using form binding. So in order to achieve form binding, Spring MVC provided form tag library. Okay, so could you please tell me what are the tags are available in the Spring MVC form tag library? What are the tags available in the Spring MVC form tag library?
Form colon input path, form colon errors path, form colon select path.
Right? Form colon input, form colon password, form colon checkbox, radio button, select, option, hidden, like that there are several tags available in the Spring MVC form tag library which are used to simplify form development, which are used to simplify form development. Okay. So today I want to develop one form by using form tag library. I want to develop one form by using form tag library. Let us take a simple requirement. Let us take a simple requirement. Good. So let me take this requirement now. Let me take this requirement.
Sir, video access.
Let me take this requirement first. Yeah. So here I'm taking a person, student name, student email, gender, student name, email, gender, course, timings. Okay. Name, email, gender, course, and timings. Now, so here, name is a text field. Student name is a text field. Email is also text field. Course is a drop down. Timings is checkbox. Morning, evening, and morning, afternoon, evening. Okay, these are the three check boxes we are going to take. Gender we are going to take as a radio button, male and female. Okay, now like this I want to develop my application. I want to develop my application, male, then female, male, female, course. It is a drop down that you need to select. Drop down list of courses will be available here. You need to select that. Timings, here it is going to be morning, and this will be afternoon, and this will be evening. So I want to develop one student registration form. Okay, now submit. Guys, are you comfortable with this? Are you comfortable with the requirement now?
Yes, sir.
Good. So for this,
Yes, sir.
I'm going to create one project.
Sir, course will be dropped down, no, sir.
Yes, sir. It is dropped down. That is the select option. Okay. Yeah. I'm making this as a 14th application, Spring Web MVC student registration. Spring Web MVC student registration application.
Sir, take another field also, location, sir.
That's fine, sir. Just I want you to explain how to work with the drop down radio button checkbox. All right. Spring Web MVC student registration application I have created. Now go to controller. Let me delete it. Previous controller I'm deleting. Previous domain also I'm deleting. Previous JSPs also I'm deleting. Inside the views, I'm deleting these JSP files. Okay, now start class is available as it is. Go to pom.xml. Go to pom.xml. Good. Yeah, here starter web is available. Tomcat embed Jasper is available. DevTools available. Lombok available. Tomcat and test. Okay, so these are the dependencies that we have in our pom.xml for our application creation. First, let me create one domain for student. Let me create one domain for student, class student, form binding object. So in order to hold the data which is entered in the form, I need one domain object, that is student. Okay, could you please tell me what are the variables that I need in the student object now? Could you please tell me what are the variables I need to take in the student object now?
Name,
Student name,
Name,
student email,
student email,
email,
gender,
gender,
and
course,
course,
timing.
and
timings.
timings.
Can you tell the data type also for those variables?
Yes, sir.
string,
Student is
String for name, string for email,
String also,
string,
string,
here
timing.
array of timings.
Student can select more than one timing, or he should select only one timing?
only one.
then one,
More than one.
More than one. Morning,
one.
afternoon, evening. He is flexible with either morning and evening. Both morning and evening. Okay. He will select two. So if I take timings also as a string, can I store two values into one variable?
No.
No.
No, sir.
So if I want to store more than one value into a variable, I need to take the data type as a array.
Yes.
So private string student name, private string student email, then private string gender, private string course, private string array of timings. Name, email, gender, course, and timings.
Sir, can we take array list instead of array? Because we don't.
Yes, you can take it, no problem. Okay, now here I'm writing @data. What is the purpose of @data annotation here?
Depend Lombok sir, for
Generate
getters,
getters
everything.
For
Yes,
getter, setter, and
it is used to generate setters and getters for our variables. Okay, very good. Now, next one, I'm creating one service class here, guys. I don't want to hard code courses, timings, and genders. I want to get the data from the service layer. Okay, I'm going to create one service class which is student service. Student service. Okay, I will keep this in service package. I can create this as an interface also. Public interface student service. Okay, now I need to write one method, public list of string get genders. Okay, next method, public list of string get courses. Get courses. Next, we will go for public list of string get timings. Okay, three methods I am writing. Three methods I am writing in my interface. These all are abstract methods. These all are the abstract methods available in my interface. Now I am going to implement these methods. I'm going to implement these methods. Student service IMPL, implement interface, add student service. add student service. Good. So do you know how to represent this class as a Spring Bean now?
@service.
We will represent this class as a Spring Bean by using @service annotation. By using @service annotation. Now, guys, actually we need to read the data from the database, but here I'm just returning the data. I'm just returning the data from this method. Okay. The thing is, why I am returning from the service is, I don't want to hard code the values in the JSP. I don't want to hard code the values in the JSP. So here, list object I'm going to create, list of string, genders is equal to new array list. List of string genders list is equal to new array list. Genders dot add of male and genders dot add of female. Okay. Now, can I return genders collection from my method?
Yes, sir.
Yes. Now, in future, what we will do? We will read this data from the repository. From the database table, we are going to read the data. So similarly, can I return some courses also from this method?
Yes, sir.
List of string courses is equal to new array list. New array list. Now, courses dot add of male.
Courses
Any Spring,
not
Spring Boot also.
Java.
Java courses dot add of testing, courses dot add of Python, courses dot add of data science. Data science. Now I'm going to return the courses from this get courses method. I'm going to return this collection from get courses method. Similarly, can we return some timings also?
Yes, sir.
Similarly, can we return some timings also? Come on. List of string timings is equal to new array list. New array list. Next. Timings dot add of morning and timings dot add of afternoon and timings dot add of evening. Okay, return timings. So do we have the data ready to display our form or not?
Yes, sir.
Okay, we have the data ready which is used to display our form. In future you can get this data from the database tables also. Very good. Let us create controller now. Let us create the controller. New class, we are going to use student controller. New class student controller. So to represent this class as a controller, we are using @controller annotation. We are using @controller annotation. Do I need to inject a service or I don't need to inject service here?
Yes, we need to do it.
Yes, we need to.
We need to inject it. Student service. Okay, you can go for constructor injection or field injection. Auto void. So what type of injection I am doing now?
Field injection.
Field injection.
Recommended or not recommended?
Not
Not
recommended.
recommended.
Not recommended. Then what is the alternate for us?
Constructor
Constructor injection
or a setter.
or setter. Okay, student service. How we will do that injection? This dot service is equal to service. This dot service is equal to service.
Sir,
Now,
what shortcut key you use here for calling this constructor injection?
we need to inject the service object into controller, right?
So what shortcut key you use?
Control space. Control space. I will get that constructor. Okay. Next, I need two methods. One is public string load registration form. Public string load registration form. Return student form or registration form. Okay. Here I am going to take model object. Model. Good. Here I am giving this as a get mapping, get mapping, get mapping, student registration. Get mapping. Okay. Now, do I need to set the student data to student empty object to the form, or I no need to send the student empty object to the form?
Yes, need to
We
set.
need to.
Yes, we need to set.
We need to set, sir.
We need to send the student object to the form because we need the form binding.
Form binding.
Okay, let's do this. Model dot add attribute. Model dot add attribute of student, and attribute value is what?
New student.
Attribute value is what? New
Student.
Model dot add attribute of student and new student. Key is the student, value is the student object. Key is the student, value is the student object. Okay, fine. Now, only object is sufficient, or we need the data for the radio button, courses, and for timings also?
Yes, we need.
We need to send the data or not?
Yes, we need.
Model dot add attribute. Key is genders. Value service dot get genders. Value is service dot get genders. Next one, model dot add attribute of timings. Service dot get timings. Next one, model dot add attribute of courses. Then we'll go for service dot get courses. Now, total how many values, how many entries I'm adding in the map?
3.
3 or 4?
4 along with
Four,
object.
sir. Four.
Why I am adding 4 entries in the map now?
For default.
We
One
need to
is for
packet some
form
data by
binding.
default.
22 line number, I'm adding the student object, empty student object
Form
in the
binding.
form
Form
binding.
binding.
24, 25, 26 line numbers are used to populate the form with the values. Drop down should contain some data.
Default
Variable
values.
should be available. Checkbox should be available. To display drop down options, checkboxes options, radio button options, I'm using that data into model object. All right. Now go to this registration form. Create a view for that. In the views, right click new other. JSP file. Registration form.jsp. Click on finish. Now save student registration. Okay. In order to use the form tag library, do I need to import forms tag lib directive or not?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
I need to import
Control double
forms tag
space.
lib directive.
Control double space.
Space for 2 times. We will get the tag lib directive. Select forms.
Four.
What is the prefix we will give for that? Prefix
Form.
also form only. Very good. Now, do you know how to develop a form by using form tag lib directive?
Yes, sir.
I have to
Form: form. Form. For this, what we will give? Action. Leave it. Next one, method. What method we will give? Post. What is the next one? Model attribute.
Model
What is the
attribute.
model attribute? What is the model attribute?
Student.
Can I give the model attribute as a student or not?
Yes,
Why
sir.
should I give only the model attribute? What is the key I
We
have
are
used
specifying
here?
here student.
Student only. So I need to give the model attribute as a key, that which I stored in the model. Very good. Next one, let us create one table. Let us create one table. Inside the table, we will write tr. Inside the tr, we will write the td. We will write the td. One row is for name, one row is for email, gender, course, timings, submit. Okay, based on the number of fields, I am creating the rows here. First one is student name. Okay, do you know how to display an input field?
Form colon input.
Input path. What should I give as a path here? What should I give as a path? Can I give anything as a path, or I need to follow the naming
It should
convention?
be a variable name.
Which is
Student name.
available
It
as
should be
is a
variable
in
name,
the
that is student name. Good. Now student name I have given. Student email we should give student email, that is one text field. Student email. For this we will write form colon input path is equal to student email.
The level also we can take. Sir.
Path is equal to student email. Next one, gender. Gender is a text field, or gender is a radio button.
Radio button, sir.
Radio
Gender
Radio
is a
button.
radio button.
Radio button.
Okay.
Form colon radio.
Form colon
Radio
radio button or buttons.
buttons.
Buttons. I will give path is equal to gender. Okay. Now path is equal to gender. Variable name is the gender. For that gender, we need to display two options. One is a male and female. Already we are sending the data from controller to UI or not?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
What is the key for that genders? Key is the gender.
Genders.
Yeah. Path is equal to genders. Here I'm going to give one thing called items is equal to dollar of genders. Items is equal to dollar of genders. Now, first time we are using items attribute, guys. What is the purpose of items is based on the key, it is going to get the values and it is going to display as a radio button. It is going to display as a radio button. Instead of a hard coding male and female, I'm directly sending the data to the JSP dynamically. That data I'm sending by using a key. That key I am using in the expression language with the help of items attribute. So genders key holding list of options. Those options will be displayed as a radio buttons here. This is the beauty of the form binding. So if I go for HTML tags, can I send the form? Can I display form data dynamically like this?
No.
We can't do that. We need to hard code the values. But here, am I hard coding the values for the radio buttons, or I am not hard coding the values for radio buttons?
Not hard code.
Not hard coding.
Not hard coding.
Hard coding the values for the radio button. Excellent. Next come under select course. Select course. Okay, so we have multiple courses our institute. We need to display all the courses which are available in the form of drop down. Form colon select. Form colon select path. Form colon select path. So what is the variable name for the course field? Course is the variable. Okay. One course or multiple courses?
Multiple courses.
Multiple courses.
Form colon options. Form colon options. Here we will write items is equal to dollar of courses. What is this dollar of courses now? What is this dollar of courses now?
Key value for courses.
It is a key which is holding list of courses. Those list of courses will be displayed as options for the drop down. Okay. Now timings. Preferable timings. Preferable timings. Okay. Here what we will do is form colon. Is it text field, drop down, radio button, or checkbox?
Checkbox.
Checkbox. Form colon checkboxes. Items is what? Dollar of timings. Path is what? Timings. Path is what? Timings. Okay. Preferable timings. Preferable timings. We are able to display the checkbox. Now, let me display submit button. Input type is equal to submit. Value is equal to register. Input type is equal to submit. Value is equal to register. Now, look at the form, guys. I developed this form by using MVC form tag library. I developed it by using MVC form tag library. All right, guys, anybody having any questions here?
Sir, form colon level also we can take instead of taking direct student name form colon level. We have to keep it in a properties file and just mention.
Sorry. I did not understand your point, sir. What do you mean by level?
My question is that directly we're taking a select course. I just want to take label.
Label, Ashok is trying to say. Label.
Label.
You have taken
Label,
Like
label.
first
No
option
problem.
is select.
Yes,
No
a
problem.
label that too. I want to put it in a properties file. Just mention that properties here as a label. Then input path.
Yeah, we can do that also, sir. We can do that. No problem. Okay.
All
Right.
these
Guys, do you understand what is the purpose of items attribute now?
yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Am I hard coding any values in the JSP, or I'm not hard coding any value in the JSP?
Not hard coding.
Not hard
Not
coding.
hard coding any value in the JSP. Now, can we start our application? Can we test it?
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Hello, sir. I have one doubt, sir. And the form tag library, how to get it, sir? The URL.
Simple, man. Control double space tag lib directive, automatically it is displaying. Na? You just need to select it. Okay.
Okay.
Good. Let us start our application. Right click, run as boot app. Right click, run as boot app.
So we didn't set the properties file.
It's already there, sir. It's already there. It is running on the port number 9090. It is running on the port number 9090. Clear that console. Go to localhost colon. Go to localhost colon 9090/student registration. Localhost colon 9090/student registration. Now, send the request. Form is displayed or not. Okay.
Yes, sir.
Male, female options are coming or not. Values.
Yes, sir.
Courses. Java, testing, Python, data science courses are coming. Morning, afternoon, evening, those options are also coming. So all these radio buttons data, drop down data, checkboxes data, are we getting dynamically to the view file, or we are hard coding in the view file?
We are getting
Dynamically.
We are getting dynamically, and we are going to display in the form fields. All right. Now, I want to submit that form and I want to display success message in the same page. I want to submit that form and I want to display success message in the same page. Can we do that?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Good. Now, let me write one method here. Public string student register student or handle submit button or handle register button. Handle register button. Handle register button. Okay. Now I want to display same page student registration form. In the same page, I want to display the success message. Okay. Now, do I need to capture the student data in the form of object or not?
Yes, sir.
Do you
Yes,
want me
sir.
to capture the data field by field, or you
Yes,
want
sir.
to use the form binding concept?
Form binding, sir.
We
Form
need form
binding.
binding concept.
Form binding
One
concept.
student.
Student object we are taking as a parameter, and model object also we are going to take as a parameter. Good. Now let me print that student data just for confirmation form binding is working or not. Okay, and this one I am binding to post request. This one I am binding to post request, post mapping of student registration. Post mapping of student registration. Post mapping of student registration. If student not equal to null, if student object is not equal to null, then I will say model dot add attribute of message registration successful. Student registered successfully.
Sir, post mapping and get mapping same pattern.
No problem.
Student
Method types are
registration. No
different,
problem.
right? When you send a get
Post is a
request
get.
with this URL, then this method will be called. When you send a post
Okay.
request with this URL, this method will be called. Type of methods are different. URL patterns are same, but type of methods are different. No problem.
Okay, sir.
Good. Student registered successfully. Now, I want to access this message in the view. Do you know how to access the message in the view?
Yes, sir. Expression language.
Expression language. Expression language.
Language.
Okay.
$MSG.
Dollar of message.
MSG.
Dollar of message. If you want, I can keep that in the font. Font color is equal to some green. Font color is equal to green. Good. Yeah. Now in the JSP, I need to give action. Okay. That is student registration. Student registration. Yeah. Stop our application. Start it. Right click, run as boot app. Right click, run as boot app. Clear the console. Now if I send same URL, right? Student reg. Get request will go to the server or post request will go to the server.
Post
Get
request
request.
will go.
Now take this. I will type this URL. If I click on enter, get request will go to the server.
Get.
Get request.
Get
Get
only.
will go, sir.
Get request will go. So first method will be called. It is loading the form.
Yes.
First method will be called and it is loading the form because I have sent get request to the server. Name, email, gender, course, timings. Excellent. Let's enter the details. Okay, timings, morning and evening. Good. Now I will click on register button. Clear the console. Clear the console. Now I am clicking on register button. Observe carefully what is happening. Click on register. Click on register. It is failed. It is failed. Items must not be null. Whatever the items attribute we are using, it is saying that items must not be null. Very good. Go to console. Go to console. Check it. Check it. Are we able to get the student data or not?
Yes, yes, sir.
Submitted successfully or not?
Yes, sir.
Whatever the data that I have entered, name, email, gender, course, timings, all values are coming or not?
Yes.
All values are coming. But why it is showing the exception?
Items.
Because in that post mapping, we are not specifying the gender, all these things.
Excellent, excellent. Whenever, observe carefully guys, why it is failing. Whenever we send a get request, this method is getting called. In this method, are we setting the data for those fields or not? Genders, timings, courses. Okay. Whenever this method is called, model object will be created. Whenever this method is called, model object will be created. In that model object, I am storing genders data, timings data, courses data, and I am returning a view file. When this view is loaded, when the view is loaded, genders, timings, courses will be available in the model object or not?
Yes.
Yes,
Will
sir.
be available in the model object. So they will be used by using items attribute. So form is loaded. Form is loaded. Now see here, form is loaded or not?
Yes.
Yes,
All are
sir.
null.
The form is loaded successfully.
Yes, sir.
The items attribute keys are available in the model scope. Okay, now form is loaded. Once the form is loaded, whatever the model object is created, the model object will be expired. Whatever the model object is created, the model object will be expired. That model object will be expired. After that, we are submitting the form. I'm entering the data. And I am submitting my form. When I click on submit button, that means register button, get request will go to the server or post request will go to the server.
Post will go, sir.
Post request will go
Go
to.
to the server. When the post request goes to the server, first method will be called or second method will be called.
Second
Second method will
First method will be called or second method will be called.
Second method.
second method will call.
What we are doing in the second method?
We are accessing and printing it.
We are just taking the student object data and we are printing on the console. After that, we are storing some message into model scope. This model object is a fresh model object or it is a old model object?
Fresh model object.
Model objects are request specific. So what is that, sir? Model
Request
objects are the request specific. For every request, new model object will be created. Now, when you submitted the form, post request will be sent to the server. For handling that post request, this second method will be executed. When the second method is executed, we are capturing the student form data in the form of object and we are storing success message into the model scope and we are returning logical view name registration form. When the registration form is loading, are we using any items attribute or we are not using any items attribute?
Not using.
Yes.
We are using in the form or not?
Yes. Yes.
Here we are using. Yes.
Here we are using, but in the model object, the genders, courses, timings are available in this model object, or they are not available in the
Not
model
available.
object?
Not available.
They are not available. When those keys are not available, can I access those keys by using items attribute, or I cannot access those keys by using items attribute?
Cannot access.
Cannot access. That
And
is
it
the
will hold null.
reason. That is the reason it is saying items must not be null. Boss, when you load the form for first time, that keys are available. When you submit the form is getting reloaded. When the form is reloading, those keys are not available in the model. That's why I cannot display this form. Are you able to understand this?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
How do you understand why we are getting that problem?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Now, how can I avoid that problem?
We have to add those.
By adding
to
one more time.
Adding all these model.
So when the second time form is loading, that time also these keys should be available. These entries should be available in the model. Then form will be loaded successfully because these keys are required to load our form. When the first time form is loading, this will be available. When the form is submitted, these are not available. That's why form is not loading. Now I am adding these also. This time form will be loaded or form will not be loaded.
Yes, will be loaded.
Will be loaded.
Form should be loaded. Okay. Earlier it is saying that the items must not be null. Okay, I handled that situation. Now let us try.
What about student object? Sure.
That will be available, sir. No problem. Okay, now I'm setting the data. Click on morning. Click on register. Student registered successfully or not?
Yes.
Yes.
Student registered successfully or not?
Yes.
Now are we able to load the same form or not?
Yes.
Earlier, why that form is not loaded?
Because the item was holding null at that time.
Item was holding null value. That is the reason form is not displayed properly. This time we are setting the data back. And our form is able to load. Good. We are able to solve the problem or we are not able to solve the problem?
Yes, we are able to say.
We are able to solve the problem.
Yes,
But can you see any problem in the code?
Yes, sir. Boilerplate code.
Data is loaded
Boilerplate
inside
code.
it.
Duplicate codes are there.
Boilerplate code. There is a boilerplate code.
Sir,
Are
we
you
can
able to
set
understand?
model at class level now.
1 second, sir. So, is there any boilerplate code available in our method? Or
Yes.
there is no boilerplate code available in our method?
Yes,
Okay.
available.
There is a boilerplate code available in our method. Now, let me solve that problem.
Just take one.
public void
method.
public void load form data. Public void load form data. For this, I'm going to use model object. Now, what I will do is, I will cut this data from here. I will keep here. I will cut the data from here. I will remove this boilerplate code. Okay, now, can you see any boilerplate code in our class, or we don't have any boilerplate code in our class?
We don't have.
How many times we are storing that data to the model object? Only one time.
One
Now
time.
tell me,
Method.
now tell me when this method should be executed.
When we call the method.
Whenever we send a request for this method as well as for this method, this should be executed. For that, I will use one annotation called @model attribute.
Okay.
I'm using one annotation called @model attribute. Okay. Whenever request comes to this controller, this method will be executed. So if you use model attribute annotation at the method level, for every request which is coming to this class, this method will be executed. So I will prove it. System.out.println load form data method called. Load form data method called.
Sir, is this init form loading, sir?
Any method name you can use. That annotation, if you have, that method will be called. Any name you can use for the method.
Yes, sir. Init form loading, sir.
Anything is you can use, man.
Yes, sir.
You can keep M1 also. Okay. Now let me send a get request. Let me send a get request. Form is loaded or not?
Yes, sir.
So are we getting the values?
No.
Oh.
Drop
Yes, we are getting.
We are getting. That means that method is called or not?
Yes.
Yes, it is called.
Did I ask? Am I calling the method manually, or it is getting called automatically?
Automatically it is getting called.
Why it is calling automatically?
We have written model attribute.
We have written model attribute annotation. Okay, now submit this form. Okay, morning, and click on register. Okay, form is loaded successfully or not?
Yes.
See that
Yes,
console.
sir.
Second time also that method is called or not?
Yes.
Yes, sir.
So whenever you send a request to that controller, the Spring MVC dispatcher servlet will check, is there any method in the controller which is binded with the model attribute? Then that method will be called first. If this method is called, what will happen? The data will be stored to model object. When you send a get request, data will be available in the model. When you send a post request also, data will be available in the model. Then our form is displaying as expected. Our form is displaying as expected.
Data from the Sir, if we take this data from database, means for every request it will fetch.
Sorry?
We are writing model attribute, right? For every request, that model attribute binded method will be called.
Yes, sir.
So,
for every request which you are sending to that controller, that method which is binded with model attribute annotation will be called.
okay, then if you write that database logic inside, that means for every base.
Yes, it will call. It will call. It will execute. Whatever you write inside that method, it will be called.
Okay.
So if there are multiple.
Load form data is calling.
Sorry.
How load form data is calling?
Load form data is calling because of this annotation. It is a predefined annotation, right?
We no need to mention that calling function.
You no need to call. That is the purpose, right? If I don't write this annotation, then we have to call it manually. Instead of I am calling, I am writing model attribute, so that Spring MVC will call it when the request comes to this controller.
Internally, it is linked with the request mapping. It means every request will.
So if you want to execute any logic for every request that is coming to that controller, then you can follow this approach.
Yes.
So if we have multiple, then if we write similar type of two methods, then
both
how
will
it
be called? Both will be called.
So it will internally manage that which need to be called at what time.
Yes.
Sir, instead of writing this model attribute method, can we, use it at a variable like model,
I did
such
not
as
get
we are
your
using
point.
auto wiring?
Sorry.
We
Model.
can set as a variable model.
Yeah, we can. So simple. If you don't want to do this, you can remove this annotation and you have to do one thing. Load form data and call the model object manually. Then here also we need to do that. Load form data. Sorry, not here. Load form data and we need to call this model object. Okay, this manually we are calling. So instead of we are calling manually, what I am doing is I'm removing this manual call and I'm keeping a annotation called model attribute. Then Spring MVC will call that method automatically for every request which is coming to this controller. What is my ultimate goal? The data should be stored in the model. Whenever you send a get request or when you send a post request, the data should be available in the model. For that I am writing a method. For that method I am writing model attribute annotation.
So sir, so for every request, this method will be executed and internally those data are added
Will
to
be
the
available
model.
in the model.
Model.
Yep.
So when you click on the post mapping, internally that values will be
Every
populated
request.
and display.
Yes,
Every
sir.
request.
Right.
For every request.
Yes.
Ashok, in our controller, whatever request comes to that controller, this method will get executed.
Exactly.
But there is a scenario where I don't want to execute for the one request.
So, sir, you need to compromise on that. Whenever you write this method with this annotation, for every request is going to call. If you want to execute, suppose my controller having 10 methods, only for 2 methods I want to execute it. Then you should not use this. We should not use this. Manually, we need to call it. We need to call that method manually. Got it?
Got Ashok. And one more thing is, can you go up once when we launch a first request, when we do first request, in that request we are sending a student object, correct, right?
Yes.
So when we are clicking on submit button, again we are calling registration form, right? So that time why we are not sending this student object?
Already that object is available here, na? Already that object is available in this method as a parameter.
But the data is there, right? If I send a empty object.
Hold on. Whenever I submitted that form, student object is already available here. Okay. The student object by default will be available in the model. So because from the form binding is already happened. So whenever you submit the form binding is already happened. I got the student object as my method parameter. That means dispatcher servlet already has taken that student object that is already binded to this form. So that is the reason we are we are not sending again. Okay. Now, if I make this student object as a null here, student is equal to null, then data will populate in the form or data will not populate in the form?
Data will not populate.
Will not populate. So as I am not writing this line, student object is already binded to the form. This student object is empty object or this object already containing the data?
Already containing the data.
Already containing the data. That's why when you submit the form, the data is available as it is. Okay. Now, actually, it is not the recommended solution.
Yes.
Now, when the data is already I have submitted my form. Already I have submitted my form like this. I have entered some data and I have submitted it. Record inserted successfully, message also displayed. But the form is already available with the data. User can click on the button once again or not.
Yes.
So can I say it is a double posting problem?
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Can I say it is a double posting? There is a chance of getting double posting problem or not?
Yes, sir. Yes.
There is a chance of getting that. See here, same data I have submitted multiple times. We have a double posting problem here. Now we need to resolve that double posting problem. For that, you have a assignment today. In the YouTube video, I have explained what is double posting problem. PRG design pattern I have explained. So that important concept. What is double posting problem and how to resolve the double posting problem. So in our channel playlist, we have 2 videos for that. What is double posting problem? How to resolve the double posting problem. Today I want you people to develop that application and I want you to
redirect it.
Spring Boot double posting post redirecting get solution. PRG design pattern I have explained, which is used to resolve double posting problem for our application. So first I gave the introduction, what is double posting for 10 minutes. After the 30 minutes video is there, I have developed an application to resolve the double posting problem by using PRG solution. Okay, can you guys do that today?
Yes, sir.
Good. So today you people have good work. You need to develop one complete project and you need to implement PRG design pattern for that project to resolve double posting. Okay, so with this I'm stopping for today. We'll continue tomorrow, guys. So for tomorrow's class, you need to come up with.
Sir, I have a question. Sir, already student object is available in model scope now. So whenever user click on the submit button, again same student object will be populated, na sir?
Yes, sir.
Oh, that is the issue of double posting.
Yes.
Sir, one doubt in the JSP, we are displaying only like a key. If we click on submit, it going only Spring courses like Spring, IBAN, right? We have to send a key, right? In the real time means Spring means 101, IBAN it means 102, right? Right. Like
That's up. No. That's up to you, man. Whether you want to send in the key value pair or you want to send as a list, that's up to you. Here I'm sending only list. I'm not sending as a map. So whatever you are saying, that is a map.
Okay, sir.
Ashok, we are using Spring MVC, right? I mean,
yes.
MVC, right? For Spring MVC, we need to externally configure the things like dispatch servlet and view resolver and controllers kind of things, right?
Yep.
So in Spring Boot, we are not doing anything. Simply, we are giving the in properties files. So
yes.
If I want to see it, what are the classes it is getting configured, so that one we can see. Like,
yeah, we can see that. We can see that, sir. We
We'll
can
have
see
to
that.
debug.
No need to debug. No need to debug also. If you set log level as a debug, Spring properties
Yes,
file is
yes.
there, right? Logging.root level, if you set a debug, it will print all the operations that is doing in the Spring Boot in the console.
Yes, Ashok, just want to go with you, like what are the things, important things is it is configuring.
Yes, sir,
like,
I will show you. Yeah, I got it. I got your point. I will configure that log level and I will show you that.
If it is possible, we will compare, or we will create one Spring MVC, our application, Spring Boot, and we will compare those two, and so that we can understand betterly.
Sure, sir.
Sir, I have one doubt. Actually, we created one method which name is form load data. So instead of using that annotation, can we create one class label variable of model like we can use as a parameter, sorry, variable, and pass in the parameter and set that model. Can we do that?
You can do that, no problem. You
so
can.
that will also work now.
Yes, well, will work.
If object is set once, then it will return same value multiple times.
Yes.
Okay, and one more thing, sir. If we want to validate the variables, variable the form data, like if we don't want to send like email without @ annotation or like that, some validation.
Validation we'll have to use. Client-side validation we can use.
Form validations I have not explained yet, guys. Okay, so today I told you how to develop this form and how to submit the form and how to use the model attribute. And please practice this example. And please go through the PRG videos and please implement double posting solution for our form. That is the task for today. So tomorrow I'm going to continue with the next concept.
What about the video access, sir?
This video I will send you today afternoon with 1 day access. So please complete that video.
Thank you, sir.
23 class